Hey everyone, welcome back as we continue on our look at Age of Apocalypse. And we're looking at the Amazing X-Men. This is issue number 1. This was the just the regular X-Men title. Andy Kubert was the artist on that, and he's still doing stuff here. I've talked about Andy Kubert a lot. I like him as an artist. I'll read the stuff he does. I won't buy it just for him, but I'm not gonna not pick up something because he's the artist. He does some weird things. This composition of this team, this shot is okay. So the members of this team, you got Quicksilver as leader, you got Storm, and I think they're an item. Or was it Banshee and her? I think it was these two. We're gonna find out. But you got Quicksilver, Storm, Banshee, Iceman. Then you got, this is Dazzler, Allison Blair, and this is Exodus. I don't know much about Exodus. He's fucking powerful, and he was powerful in the Prime universe, 616. And they never showed up, and these two weren't in X-Men Alpha, so I actually forgot about these two completely until I picked this up. So in X-Men Alpha and Astonishing X-Men, they talked about a lot of stuff that was going on. And there's two teams of X-Men that went off to do some stuff, along with send Nightcrawler off to do some stuff, send Colossus and Kitty Pryde with Generation Next off to do some stuff, and Gambit and the Externals off to do some stuff to kind of help with what's going on, like with Bishop saying that this world doesn't exist. Try and figure that out, see if there's anything they can do with that information. But at the same time, the Age of Apocalypse is still going on. And Rogue and her team and the Astonishing X-Men, they're going to try and go stop Holocaust and the Cullings, as they are calling them. And then this team is sent to help with an evacuation in Northeast America, like somewhere around New York, must be, to help with an evacuation with the Human High Council. So, here's some establishing shots. Magneto Apocalypse's Citadel. And a few of the lucky ones managed to flee to Europe and Asia. The rest remained trapped by a destiny they couldn't quite understand, fodder for the work camps and breeding pen to the New World Order. So, humans are being enslaved. But there are places where hope remains, and these guys are hoping to be, evacuated out too. So, these humans are talking, and this one who's cloaked, we don't see who it is. They're just like, oh, can you believe it? Freedom. They're like, yeah, this is going to be awesome, They're talking like, is Eurasia really like people say? And this kid's like, do you think we'll make it there? And this person in the hood's like, of course, keep the faith. And this person wanders off. As she leaves, it says the boy's eyes haunt her as she walks away. And she's like, what kind of a world could a child's look show so much innocence and mask so much pain? So this is revealed to be, they call her Sister Carlisle, Vanessa Carlisle. That's Copycat, from what I understand. And I think this character is supposed to be the character in Deadpool, right? What's her face? I forget her name. Morena Baccarin. I think that's supposed to be the same person. But this, whoever these people are, who's talking with her, and she's saying like they actually believe that they're going to be saved. She calls them the Cardinal Madri. And yeah, they're like, this confirms our suspicions that the humans hope to escape. And they're like, well, that's just foolish. The humans and their delusion dreams will simply be left to fall into the abyss. Now that's kind of setting up who the villain of this book is going to be, which is another one of Apocalypse's horsemen called Abyss. And I don't know much about him, if he was anywhere in the Prime universe, but he's kind of a scary motherfucker, a little bit insane. So we go back to the mansion. There's Bishop. Again, it's just kind of recapping everything we've seen. And then he comes up, and I think there's going to be a little training exercise. Yeah. The remaining X-Men are fighting this this Sentinel, however they have it. This always seemed weird to me. So you got Exodus up here. I mean, it's a great shot looking up, and it makes it look like this Sentinel's huge. But the way the size of Exodus here shooting down at him just makes it seem a little bit smaller. I don't know. I think he should have just drawn this character smaller. Anyways, yeah, they're doing a training exercise. Iceman freezes the moisture in the air around their robot attacker. Storm brings down lightning, because that's what she does. The second in command, Banshee, scrambles the Sentinels' electronic systems with a sonic scream pitched at so high a frequency that only the Sentinel can detect it. And then the Exodus here blasts with his laser beams an opening. He's the newest X-Men's newest member, the mysterious man known as Exodus. And Quicksilver comes running up here. Given the opportunity, he has this disc with, now that there's an opening, to insert this disc inside it. An override virus disc. But he's a little too slow. But he gets it in there, and then he calls for time. It was a training thing. I said it was a training thing. But we weren't supposed to know. We thought this was a real threat. But it was a training. And there's Dazzler. She was timing it. And Quicksilver's like, fuck, I was too slow. Yeah. Sexy shot of Dazzler. She's smoking, uses her powers to light a cigarette. And then they're just talking about more and more stuff. About how the mission requirements that they're going to go on, there can't be any mistakes, all that kind of bullshit. Exodus there, I think they're trying to, they're having a little bit of romance here. I don't know what's up with her I like this outfit, but this thing on her head is kind of dumb and silly. And he doesn't like that she smokes. Makes your breath smell like garbage, he says. So yeah, they know that they need to go help with the evacuation they were just looking at. But then the Sentinel looks like it's still active, but then it gets blasted, and by Magneto. Kind of a cool down shot of him. Cape is fucking crazy, but that's like a Spawn cape going on there. And I like this. He says, I do not consider myself a fool, nor you, and what does that make us then? And Bishop, who's watching everything, he says, you're dreamers. That's what you are. So the Sentinel was just a light projection show from Dazzler here, apparently. And it was going to come up and get him again, because that's, Magneto wanted to keep him on their toes. So, anyways, more just chit-chatting. Talking about what they need to do. How this world is wrong, and the only way is to save it is by changing it. Little Charles there is getting his nose. That's cute. Dazzler getting another cigarette. Yeah, so they're talking it here. Nightcrawler seeks out his mother Mystique. Peter and Kitty search for Illyana. And Gambit tries to steal the mysterious M'Kraan crystal. How does he know about the M'Kraan crystal? I don't know if they've ever said. So we keep on fighting, even though it'll be pointless if everyone else succeeds, they say. Yeah. It ain't over till it's over, he says. And we fight until the war against Apocalypse is won or to our last breath. So, okay, they're talking about the mission that they're going on to, talking about this disc that should help mask themselves against the Sentinels that are going to come evacuate the humans. If they can insert this into the Sentinels, it'll mask the mutants, the X-Men, the good ones trying to actually help them. So, okay, they're like, okay, let's get going. And Iceman is ready to pick them up with his ice and take them all there. And they're like, fuck you. That's I don't want you to go that way. And he says, 3 of us can fly, meaning Exodus, Storm, and Banshee, and we'll just carry the other ones. They're like, yeah, that's going to take a lot out of all of you guys, and there's a better way to do it. And Exodus will teleport all of you there. And he's like, wait, what? I don't have those kind of powers. He's like, yeah, you do. Looks like Magneto saved him, so he has kind of a devotion to Magneto, much as he did in the main universe. So he says, yeah, you have the ability to teleport us, so he just fucking does it. He's like, I don't know how to do it. Well, you can. Well, okay. And he just teleports them away. So that's kind of silly. And he's like, I did it. And like Banshee's like, hands, feet, lungs, whew. So like, time to go to work. So, yeah, they're here. They're helping with the humans. This kid bumps into Quicksilver. He gives him a nice like little look, like watch where you're running. So, kind of confused what had happened. I had to take a second to look at it a little more closely. But Storm is here, and she's creating a huge storm she wants to take out the defense monitoring tower, but she's also like creating this huge storm to mask the presence of all these Sentinels. And these guys, who I guess were on the side of it, must be on the side of Apocalypse, because they wouldn't be humans. They're like, oh fuck, and so they see these Sentinels. They look a lot more human. I think there's a reason for that. Like the design, Trask. Yeah, Boulevard Trask still designed them, but he's married to Moira, and I guess I don't know, he just made them more human looking. But you see the Sentinels taking out this tower, and Storm kind of helped them mask their presence in the storm, but she's still kind of freaked out by the sight of them. And she says the information must be accurate. The humans must be planning a big strike against Apocalypse, and that's why they're trying to save as many as they can, because there's going to be a lot of collateral damage. So it's still kind of cool that the Sentinels are, they're still against mutants, but they're kind of on the side of good, as opposed to just exterminating mutants out of prejudice. They're doing it to save the world. So this little boy, he kind of still here. He ran in, you've seen him. This is the 3rd time. He goes running off because he's a little shit. And he gets, I don't know, sucked up by something. Looks like Venom symbiote shit, but it's not. And someone's talking off page. I think it was the same thing that these guys were saying in the beginning. The humans and their delusion dreams will simply be left to fall into the abyss. So, Sentinels are coming in. Kind of a cool shot of these ones landing here. Voice command on broadcast spectrum. And he says, alert, mutant presence detected in the immediate vicinity, scanning for identification. And anomalous, so he sees Wolverine and Jean Grey, and who have been cataloged as a non-threat by the Human High Council. Wolverine and Jean Grey actually work with the humans, And they got some information. It was an X-Men Alpha. It's a whole thing. Go watch the video. But these fucking Sentinels kind of talking to himself. Query, if England is the catalog location, how can they be present here? And that was Dazzler here doing another light trick, showing them there. And so they do what they were training earlier, and they get the disc inside, the override disc, which will mask them from these Sentinels. So, you know, they can kind of help freely. But then something goes wrong. I'm not really sure why. They detect Iceman here and fucking shoot and like blow him up. Right? They just like vaporize him, just shatters him. They're like, what the fuck? Yeah. But they say like, oh, Iceman is a problem. He'll be able to pull himself back together. But the question is, why didn't the override disc work? And the program did work, but if the Sentinels weren't detecting us, who are they detecting? And they're like, that would be us. So it did work, but they detected these other mutants. And let's see. So, who are these guys? They're just part of the Brotherhood. So there's Copycat. That must be Yeti and from some of the X-Force comics, maybe. Is that Box? I think he was from on Alpha Flight. I don't know who these guys are. It's a fucking crazy monster thing, and it looks like Havoc, but that's not who it is. Name of the Madrius suggests you defend yourself. So, anyways, bad guys show up. No idea who they are. And, yeah. So, there we go. Another issue of Age of Apocalypse. This is Amazing X-Men #1. Not as interesting as Astonishing X-Men. And I feel it has a lot to do with the artist. Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of like what's going on with Andy Kubert's art in this. Kind of hard to tell what's going on. The writing could probably save it, but it doesn't. It's not bad. But I'm more interested in the Astonishing X-Men. And I feel like some of the other books are just more interesting of a concept of what's going on. So it is what it is. Well, thanks for watching. What do you think of this issue? What do you think of Andy Kubert? Yeah, give this video a like, my bros and ladies. Okay, as always, I will see you in the next video.